The Bitcoin price is walking on thin ice, squeezing into the potential apex of the bullish pennant formation, possibly creating one of the largest and most gigantic Bitcoin bull flags of all time. But are there potentially warning signs beginning to appear inside the chart right now, suggesting that the Bitcoin price could be in jeopardy? Let's dive in and analyze. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. We have an absolutely jam-packed show here today, folks. Of course, we're going to look at the technicals here on the price chart, but we also need to discuss the US dollar inflation rate and this velocity of money chart. Very interesting stuff here. We need to look at the crypto fear and greed index, the Google Trends data for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And my friends, right now, we have to take a look at the gaps on the CME futures chart here. Sheesh. Absolutely jam-packed show here today. So we'll begin on the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin. But of course, before we begin, if you could, smash that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for that. And if you are brand new, well, welcome to the most realistic Bitcoin technical analysis channel you are ever going to find. Hit that subscribe button, tick the little bell, select all, and let's get this crypto. Welcome to the channel. So here on the 4-hour time frame, what I want you to notice is the structure of this trend right here, right now. Bitcoin was trading in an upward sloping foghorn pattern formation, right? The opposite of this pennant that we're in now, right? The foghorn sees increased volatility, making it very difficult to get an idea, right, of where the trend is headed. Are we possibly seeing a lower low and a breakdown? Or are we possibly going to ride up? It gets harder to see the volatility. What we are seeing now is actually more favorable, in my opinion, for traders and analysts, where we're seeing the volatility tighten up into a pennant formation, getting ready to possibly explode and break out of the apex. So this is where we are at right now, in my opinion. Now let's observe this a little closer. Notice this upward sloping trend line here, right? Dating all the way back into December of 2020. It started as resistance multiple times, then flipped into support, and most recently support once again. The bulls right now are still maintaining this higher low trajectory, still maintaining the support of this trend line. And right now, my friends, if the bulls can keep this train rolling here, get above this prior little high that we tried to climb up to, failed. If we can get back above there, above 38,000, my friends, all eyes become set on this higher high up here at about 40K, because if this does break out above there, sure, we still have the potential resistance of the high, the ultimate high, right, about 42,000. But just look at all of what the bulls have accomplished at that point. They've maintained support after these multiple heinous drops of over 20% to the downside multiple times, only to maintain the upward sloping line of potential bullish support structure to then break out of the pennant, climb to a new higher high, and look to rip to the upside. That, to me, my friends, would look quite bullish. Now you're probably wondering about targets. Well, we do have a few of those to look at. So what we're going to do first here is take the potential measured move of the bull flag pattern formation. I understand this does not have to be a bull flag. I'm just saying if it is, if you'd like to interpret it as a bull flag, let's take the flagpole from our last breakout to the top of the pennant. We will then drag it over to the potential breakout point of this pennant. We will then zoom out, and we're going to see where the flagpole potentially puts us. My friends, it's right up there at about 60,000 USD, roughly about 57,000 here on my chart. Now, this isn't the only target up here. Notice this little number up here, the 1.618 golden Fibonacci extension target on the logarithmic scale. Now, where is this target coming from, you may ask? Well, it is actually this $20,000 prior all-time high back in 2017, then dragged to the bottom of the doldrums of the crypto abyss down near 3,000. So we're taking from the top of the bull to the bottom of the bear. That, my friends, gives us our logarithmic scale Fibonacci extension target of the 1.618 ratio up at about 60,000 USD. It will vary from chart to chart depending on where the dollar amount is. Just know it's roughly going to be between 60,000 and 62,000 on most charts. Let's get this crypto. So if we are to see the Bitcoin price right now hold this support, right, that we have done right now, break above this 38K high right around here, okay, and then break this trend line and break this prior high, that's 3 confirmations for me, my friends, right? Break this, confirmation number 1. Break this downward sloping trend line, confirmation number 2. Break this prior high, confirmation number 3. And at that point, I do have to start setting my eyes on the potential of a break up towards 60,000 USD. Let's get this crypto. If you are enjoying thus far, don't forget to leave a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for that. And if you are brand new, welcome to the most realistic Bitcoin technical analysis channel you are ever going to find. Hit that subscribe button, tick the little bell, select all, and let's get this crypto. Welcome to the channel. Now, this is where things get interesting, right? And I'm sure if you're new to this channel and you are feeling that moon boy euphoria, right? Which is natural, right? It's natural to feel that way right here, right now. Just understand that, right? As somebody that's been in this market for a very long time, I've been up the mountain, I've been down the mountain, and quite frankly, the Don has also been everywhere in between. So I don't let the emotion of the ups and the downs take control of my analysis. I like to keep a clear, level head. And right now, I am seeing an absolutely uncanny amount of belligerent euphoria from the Moon Boys right now. And this is concerning to me up here because we did have what could be categorized as a potential blow off top. I mean, this was about a 27% move to the downside. I mean, I don't want to lose focus that that is a warning shot fired there, right? Sure, we could break up, but this was a warning shot fired, which we're going to discuss now before we even get into the inflation rate and things like that. There were 2 warning shots fired here, okay? One was this right here, 20% down. For me, that move and that move right there are 2 large entities taking profit. Okay, to move the Bitcoin price down roughly 20% plus in just mere hours, right, is very difficult. That's not an easy task to do with the size of the Bitcoin market cap right now. And to see that type of drop there, I mean, for me, friends, it appears that somebody is liquidity hunting in here. That's how I'm interpreting this, that they're waiting for the order books on the buy side to build, and then they're dumping into liquidity. Because you have to understand that the float on Bitcoin, right? And by the float, I mean how much liquidity is in the order book. The float on Bitcoin is rather small, especially compared to, say something like an S&P 500 traded equity or something like that, right? Or an S&P 500 ETF, right? In terms of something like that, the float on Bitcoin is very, very small. So when entities want to take sizable amounts of profit, if they do so when there's not a lot of orders in the book, it can really slam the price down really hard. And, sure, it's not great for those holding it all, but think about it from their perspective. It really is no good for them, because they give themselves a bad deal, especially if they dump it and then the price V-shape recovers to the upside. You see what I'm saying, right? So they don't want that. They want to keep dumping when there's liquidity in the books that it can absorb their sells, right? Now, that's my speculative theory here right now, is that we are beginning to see warning shots, right? And why is this, you may ask? Well, we've seen it many times in the past near the top of market cycles. Let's go to our last bubble pop back here at roughly 14,000. Okay, look, warning shots fired here, my friends, right? Look, bang. Down, 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 and we recover, right? This becomes the complacency stage, right? We're back to normal, Kirby. We're back to normal. V-shape, bang, liquidity hunt again, right? Okay, it's over, Kirby, it's over. They let it build, liquidity hunt, bang, down. Then it just dries up and the rest of the market sells off. Warning shots. Let's go back to 2017. right? All the way back up here at about 20,000, okay? This number psychologically, whoever was, leading the way on that dumping there, they drew the line at 20K and said, listen, we need liquidity there, okay? Obviously, the liquidity wasn't there as much as they thought. It dropped to about 11,000, okay? But then, look, you let it build, let it build, let it build, bang. Let it build, let it build, let it build, bang. Over and over and over again. Okay, my friends. So right now, seeing a drop and then a recovery isn't really that healthy to me, right? Because what happened the last two bubble pops? Savage drop, freaked everybody out, recovery, and then the real downside began. It's possible to me that we are seeing something like that forming right now in the current day, where we're seeing a huge sell-off, V-shaped recovery, and then possibly continue down. Okay, not saying that has to happen, but I'm saying it does look similar in that sense to me. And if you're not familiar with the Wall Street cheat sheet psychology of a market cycle, I'm pulling this up for you now because notice the complacency stage after the euphoria, right? Euphoria is when everybody wants to pile in. Everybody and their mother, their brother, and quite frankly, their sister as well, all want to dump money into the corn, right? They say, I'm a genius. We're all going to be rich. Then it dumps. They freak out, but they're a hodler, right? I've got strong hands, Kirby. They hold, they hold, they hold. It begins to climb back up the mountain. They say, I told you, Kirby. I told you. We just have to wait. It's got to cool off. We're waiting for the next rally. Complacency, my friends. And look at where we could potentially be at right here, right now, with the first and absolute utter possible blow off top here and the first rebound rally to V-shape, drop into complacency, and possibly drop again. Not saying that that's what has to be occurring right now, but with what I'm about to show you in terms of the other warning signs here, such as this on the CME futures chart, my friend, two gaps, sheesh, and the U.S. inflation. We're going to discuss all of this here. I just wanted to preface this with, just looking at this from a pure market cycle standpoint and looking back at past bubble pops. I think there is certainly validity here that we could possibly be in the complacency stage, right? I know this may trigger some moon boys. They may get angry, right? But that's also what you see in a euphoric phase, because soon as somebody shows another possible reality to the situation. You, Kirby, you! Same type of feeling, my friends, back before this drop as well at 6,000. Do you guys remember, if you've been in the space for this long, this is the bottom, Kirby. We can't possibly drop any lower. You think anybody's gonna sell Bitcoin at 6,000? What are they, stupid? Good night. See you later. 50% drop into the abyss. All those people wrecked, gone forever. They probably FOMO'd back in now, but for a long period of time, they're gone forever, right? So I'm just stating that it's the same type of sentiment, right? Same type of sentiment. And now we're going to move forward with this, right? Just understand that, I'm open to both scenarios. I spent the first half of this stream discussing the possible upside. So don't write this off as I'm just some sort of bear, always looking for it to go down, Kirby. It's not true, right? These moon boys can say whatever they want. For me right now, I understand this could be a gigantic bull flag with a target up towards 60,000, and I am going to look to potentially play that breakout to the upside if that does in fact occur. And of course, I'll keep you updated with all of my trade setup ideas, entry ideas, potential take profit ideas in real time in VIP. Of course I will. But if we drop to the downside as well, my friends, you really think that the Don is going to, just cry about this like the Moon Boys? I'm just going to hodl, Kirby. One day. No, little James. The Don is going to look to potentially crush the move to the downside as well. If I need to short it, the Don will short it. If the Don needs to buy the dip, the Don will buy the dip. The Don is going to do whatever is necessary here to potentially crush it in either direction. And before we get into the money velocity, the Google Trends, the crypto fear and greed index, all of that right now, my friends, I just want you to know this, that if this was the top, say 42,000 was the top, and this bubble does in fact continue to pop, the Don will be here day in and day out as your beacon of light throughout the darkness of the drop. Let me say that one more time for the Moon Boys in the back. If this bubble truly did hit its top and we are going to continue to pop, The Dawn will continue to be your beacon of light throughout the darkness of the drop. Let's get this crypto. I will be here day in and day out with the most realistic Bitcoin technical analysis you're ever going to find. So if you aren't subscribed already, well, hit that subscribe button, tick the little bell, and select all. Welcome to the channel, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up either. Sheesh. So now let's move along, my friends, to some very important topics here. And of course, before we do get there, now that you understand my interpretation of this move here, squeezing into the apex, how I'm looking to crush it down or up, the Dawn does not care which direction. Just understand, I will be keeping you personally updated around the clock, 24/7 in absolute real time with all of my personal trade setup ideas, entry ideas, potential take profit ideas. As the Dawn looks to possibly strike gold, I will keep you personally updated in VIP. If you're not already in my VIP, today is the day. It's time to transform yourself from average Joe into Savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. I will see you in VIP right now after this video. Sheesh. So now, my friends, let's actually begin here with the gaps on the CME futures chart. Okay. This is very simple stuff here. Quite frankly, it's just been an uncanny coincidence, if you want to call it that, right? In air quotes, coincidence, that the gaps have filled. Look at all of these little, squiggles I have in there like that. These are all gaps that have been filled throughout the past. And I don't want to say it's 100% accurate just in case I miss one or two, but it is very, very accurate. And almost every single gap on the daily chart of the Bitcoin CME futures chart, it's almost 100%, almost have filled. Okay. Right now we have two gaps here. One at 23,795 and one at 18,460. Do these have to fill? Absolutely not. Have they filled to a very high degree in the past, and have these gaps shown to be accurate indicators of where the price could potentially be headed on a drop? Yes, they have. So if the Bitcoin price does break down now, right? Keyword, if it breaks down, we lose this trend line, right? We drop down out of the pennant. Well, possible downside targets? For me, historically, the gaps have been very good areas to look. So for me right now, those two gaps are certainly areas of interest for me. And if we look at that from the current price point down, to fill that first gap would be a roughly 36% drop to the downside. Okay, savage. And if we drop down to fill that second gap, right, which would not be out of the realm of normalcy either, in my opinion, it would be a potentially 50% drop to the downside. Savage, heinous, ludicrous, if you do in fact ask me. But I really don't think that that would be that abnormal if that happened. This run has been absolutely immaculate and euphoric, right? I mean, it's been one of the most historic runs in Bitcoin history. And if we were to see a 50% drop, I mean, that's not anything abnormal at all. In fact, let's just take a quick look here. I want to go to the weekly time frame now. Very briefly, we're going to then get into the other stuff. Look at the Bollinger Band here on the weekly time frame, my friends, okay? What I want to show you here, back on the regular chart, I still have this circled here, great. This is the Bollinger Band, okay? On the weekly time frame, notice almost every time on the last bull run, on the weekly time frame that we exceeded above the Bollinger Band, right? We then saw a retracement back to the median pink line, which is the 20-week moving average in this case, okay? And this happened all the way up, right? Look at it, just over and over and over again, okay? Now, you can even see that the last bubble, the 2017 bubble, popped with us going above the Bollinger Band, and the next bubble, around 14,000, popped with us going above the Bollinger Band. And look at where we are in the current day, my friends. Back above the Bollinger Band, okay? And if we actually do close this week's weekly candle below the band, this is really warning shots fired for me, friends. Look, then once we closed below the band, that led to our top and our drop into the abyss. Once we dropped here below the band, led to our drop into the abyss. If we close this weekly candle below the band, sheesh, warning signs are beginning to ding their bells, ladies and gentlemen. Ding, 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 ding. The euphoria may have finally run its course. Not saying that that has to be the case, but it could be. Now, let's move along to let's go to the inflation discussion real quick, okay? The US dollar here, okay? This is the velocity of money, all right? This is essentially how fast money is changing hands from one person to another or from one person to a business, right? The flow of money throughout an economy. Right now, the US is at an all-time low, okay? The inflation rates were growing all the way through the 80s, through the 90s, and basically to about year 2000 as the velocity of money was picking up. These are the times where we saw some of the largest inflation rates in U.S. history, right here, okay? Right now, we are seeing some of the lowest inflation rates in U.S. history. And of course, for the comment section economists that are going to go on their conspiracy theory rants, well, Kirby, we just don't know the real inflation number because they post fake numbers. I get it, right? You think I don't understand that? What I'm stating is that right now, we're not seeing anything like hyperinflation happening. We're not seeing absurd rates. We're actually seeing low interest rates. The money velocity is very low. So regardless of their potentially fake numbers, as the comment section economists would like to say, right? You have to understand, my friend, that the inflation rate generally tends to go up way more when money is changing hands very fast. When money is not changing hands very quickly, it's very difficult for inflation to be realized, right? Sure, with the amount of money printing they're doing now, there is potentially a ton of unrealized inflation sitting there, just waiting to be realized eventually, right? So yes, when this money velocity chart starts to pick back up and we see something like this begin to happen, that, in my opinion, is when we could possibly see inflation start soaring. And all of this money printing that's happening today in the current day will then see the inflation realized down the road. Okay? Not so much right now when the velocity is just very, very low. If you understand that, see it as a rational thought and appreciate my thoughts there. Again, that thumbs up would be so greatly appreciated. Subscribe, tick the little bell, and select all. Now, let's briefly, before we look at this other stuff here, go to the US dollar index chart. Okay? This is the US dollar trading against a basket of other world currencies. Okay? Now, what I want you guys to notice here right now, very briefly, is that we are pushing up upon this downward sloping trend line right now. If this breaks out above and closes a weekly candle above, it's very possible that the US dollar is now breaking this downtrend, okay? Also, here on the weekly time frame, we do see a bullish divergence weekly RSI, okay? We had lower lows in the price action here, higher lows on the RSI indicator. Also, we did have it on the daily time frame, okay? So right now we do have a bullish double bullish divergence across multiple time frames. Also, we have this historic yellow line of confluence dating all the way back into the 1980s. It was our double top of resistance there after the financial crisis of 2008 all the way into 2010. Flip into the current day. It acted as our bottom here in 2018, and it could possibly act as the double bottom here in 2021. Let's get this crypto. So right now, my friends, watch it, because I feel like it's very possible that the dollar is getting ready to possibly break out. And wow, even just drawing this like this, I really didn't see this in advance here, but this does possibly look like a falling wedge as well. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe I didn't see that in advance. This does look like a possible bullish falling wedge pattern as well. If we are to break out of there and close weekly candles, let's get this crypto. And notice these yellow areas here. This was the great Bitcoin bull run of 2017. We saw Bitcoin go from below 1,000 up to about 20,000. The US dollar was collapsing, okay? Then the bear market, okay? Bear market for Bitcoin. This upward action for the US dollar index. Now our current bull run with Bitcoin going from 3,800 to over 40,000, US dollar collapsing again. So right now, if we are to see a rebound here in the US dollar with the treasury yields potentially increasing, with the inflation scare potentially, whittling away here as people are now growing, to understand that, hey, if the velocity of money is so low and the economy is not really opening up to its full capacity, maybe we're not going to see realized inflation for quite some time. Again, understand, unrealized inflation, I think there's a ton of it. And yes, Bitcoin could be a huge, huge beneficiary of that realized inflation down the line when it's realized. Right now, you know, if money's not changing hands very quickly and people are hoarding cash, very difficult for inflation to be realized, in my opinion. And once that scare of, you know, hyperinflation and things like that go away, I think it's very possible that we could see the US dollar rebound here. And if we do see a rebound, I do feel like that could put some pressure on the Bitcoin price, just in you know, in confluence with this already possibly being a parabolic bubble that's ready to have a very savage and real correction. Okay. This isn't an alarmist technical analysis. This is not me, you know, trying to, you know, put a downer on your parade or your party or anything like that. I'm a realist here, folks, looking to potentially crush the market both up and down, right? If it goes down, to me, I'm just as happy as if it goes up, because it's trading opportunity, right? That's the whole thing. It's trading opportunity. It doesn't matter if it goes down. There's trades to be made to the downside. It doesn't matter if it goes up. There's trades to be made to the upside, right? I am looking day in and day out to potentially crush this market, obliterate it, and crush it like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can. And right now, I'm seeing that we are in a very unique situation here, okay? And of course, my friends, do not get caught like a deer in the headlights here if this breaks down or if it breaks up. Whether you're short and it goes up, don't get wrecked. Whether you're long and it goes down, don't get wrecked. Don't get caught like a deer in the headlights. Don't be taking that trip to Wreck City with Average Joe and James at the water cooler. You're better than that. You deserve better than that. With that being said, my friends, I'm going to keep you updated exclusively around the clock in VIP with all of my personal trade setup ideas, entry ideas, exit ideas, potential take profit ideas around the clock. Okay. If you're not already in my VIP, today is the day. It's time to transform yourself from Average Joe into Savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. Do not miss my alerts for this next impending action. Now, before we wrap this up, let's quickly now take a look here at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. We are still very high up here, my friends, very high, back to where we were before our bubble pop at about 14,000, right? Up in the 90s. Right now we were at the 90s and we have begun to drop. Very similar, once again, to potentially what we saw here, where we dropped, had a recovery. What do you know in the current day, ladies and gentlemen? Drop, recovery, and then we plunged into the abyss. Does history have to repeat itself? Absolutely not, but it is another warning shot fired, okay? Now, Google Trends data, search term Bitcoin, worldwide data past 5 years. My friends, right now, historically, with the data we have to go off of, this is a spot in the trend where people have just been decimated around this region, and we have seen savage pullbacks. You know, generally for a buy and hold mentality, when this search volume is in the doldrums, absolutely almost no interest at all. Currently at like a 7 or an 8 or a 9, that has been the time for accumulation. Up here at our second highest high of all time, sheesh, my friends, this is what I'm talking about with Moonboy euphoria and disillusion. Sure, it could work out, but does it come with little risk? Absolutely not. In my opinion, this is very high risk here from a long perspective. Very, very high risk for the short to medium term. Same here with Ethereum, my friends. Just look at this. We had a bubble pop back there in June of 2017. What do you know? Up there, popped. Then up here again, popped. Right now we are at an all-time high and potentially pulling back right now. Just very high risk, my friends, for both Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. So I just wanted to put that on your radar. You know, don't be overwhelmed with this analysis. Right now, I will keep you personally updated in VIP with all of my trade setup ideas and what I'm looking to do here with this action as it unfolds. So don't miss any more of my VIP alerts, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, today's the day. It's time to transform yourself from Average Joe into Savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. I will see you in VIP right now after this video. All right. And if you could, one last time, if you enjoyed this analysis here today, thumbs up would be so greatly appreciated, my friends. And if you're brand new, Well, you see by now. Welcome to the most realistic Bitcoin technical analysis channel you're ever going to find. Hit that subscribe button, tick the little bell, select all, and let's get this crypto. Welcome to the channel. So my friends, on that note, you already know, as I stated earlier, the reason that I can remain unemotional in this market is because the dawn has been up the mountain. The dawn has been down the mountain. And quite frankly, the dawn has been everywhere in between. And I have wined and dined with kings and queens. And I have slept in alleys and dined on pork and beans. And the dawn will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I prefer the whining queens every single time. So I will see you guys in VIP right now after this video. Today is the day. It's time to transform yourself from average Joe into savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. And until next time, my friends, the dawn has spoken. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs. Oh, and beware of the fake Kirby imposters down in the comment section. I will never post a phone number on your comment. I will never send you any type of unsolicited email. That is not me. You can see the two examples down below. They have the same name as me, but they're posting phone numbers. They're using very weird typing to get around the spam filter. That is not me. This is an example of my real comment here. You can see the nameplate has a gray background to it, and I do leave a creator heart next to the thumbs up so you can validate that that is me. I generally only post the VIP information in a pinned comment, so you know that is me there. My friends, don't fall for any of the fakes. Be smart, be safe. I'll see you in VIP right now after this video. Let's get this crypto.
The material in this video has no regard to the specific investment objectives, financial situation, or particular needs of any viewer. This video is presented solely for informational and entertainment purposes and is not to be construed as a recommendation, solicitation, or an offer to buy or sell any securities, commodities, cryptocurrencies, or any related financial instruments, nor should any of its content be taken as investment advice. Crypto Kirby is not a financial advisor. The views expressed in this video are completely speculative opinions and do not guarantee any specific result or profit. Trading and investing is extremely high risk and can result in the loss of all of your capital. Any opinions expressed in this video are subject to change without notice. Crypto Kirby is not under any obligation to update or keep current the information contained herein. Crypto Kirby may have an interest in the securities, commodities, cryptocurrencies, and or derivatives of any entities referred to in this material. Crypto Kirby accepts no liability whatsoever for any loss or damage of any kind arising out of the use of all or any part of this material. Crypto Kirby recommends that you consult with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment or trading decisions. Thank you for watching and have a great day.